Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to York Chat. I'm Austin the Stash. Joining me today is the Director of Public Works, James Paul. James, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for jumping on and chit-chatting about everything that's going on in York right now.
Yep.
Because, right now, your job never stops.
No, it doesn't.
Your job is always going, and you're always trying to keep the York community looking as pretty as possible and functional for everyone around, So tell me a little bit about just your day-to-day. How does your job work and what's on your mind?
Yeah. So starts off with a morning meeting, usually down at our shop with a lot of our foremen and superintendents, just really going over our plans that we have for the day and what each employee is going to be working on. So that we can make sure we get our daily tasks done, but also focusing on the projects that we're trying to get accomplished.
Absolutely. And there are plenty of projects that you guys are working on. One is the lead line replacement. Tell me a little bit about that, how much you've done so far, what still needs to be done. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. Yep. So the lead line replacement project, that was something before I started with the city, we had put aside some ARPA funds, which is the American Rescue Plan Act funds. We decided to utilize those funds to replace lead lines, lead service lines for potable water system. The goal is to remove all sections of lead out of our water system. So decided to use that for our funds, reviewed our records, identified those service lines that do have lead lines. The nice thing about using those ARPA funds is that takes the cost off of the homeowner.
Nice.
And covers that. So right now we're approximately 75% complete with that project.
Nice.
We're hoping to wrap that up this fall, hopefully before October.
Nice. And what does that entail? So you said that it's basically covered by ARPA, so the homeowner doesn't have to deal with the cost part of it. In terms of like road closures or anything like that, is there going to be anything that comes with that?
Yeah, so there usually are some road closures. They're minor in sense. You could still get through part of the street for the most part, because what we have to do is we have to cut a hole in the street, go down to the water main. Sometimes the water main's in the right of way, which makes it a lot easier, but more often than not, it can be in the road. So do have to do a temporary closure there so the contractor can get down to that water main, remove the lead line, connect to the copper, and then run the service to the house and connect it up there.
Gotcha. All right. And how long does that normally take?
So the contractor's been, I would say on average, probably completing about one line a day.
Nice. Yeah. For someone who doesn't know, seems pretty efficient.
Yeah. When we do have some shorter runs, they're able to maybe get 2 a day completed. Nice. So it's really nice. And then once that is all connected up, we make sure proper backfill is completed, and then the street crew comes in, pours a concrete patch in the street, and we move on.
Bing, bang, boom. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. So speaking of street closures, there is, I see here that in the next week, 8th Street between Grant Avenue and Nebraska Avenue is going to be closed. What is the reason, and how long is that looking like it's going to be?
Yeah, so we're hoping within the next week we do close that portion of the street. So it's one of those streets that we took off of our, every year we have a 1 in 6 year street plan. So that is one that was on our list this year that we would like to get accomplished. And it's of size that our street crew can accomplish that in hopefully a short amount of time. I'm planning about 3 weeks for that. We'll be getting postings out, touching base. So basically where that section of street's at, it's just to the north of the senior center, and it's over by the Red Couch as well.
Okay.
Counseling services there. So we'll be shutting that down, pulling up the bricks out of the street, and we'll be pouring back concrete.
Gotcha. What do you do with all the bricks?
So
I know that it's a weird question, but
Yeah, so really what we've done, we had quite a few bricks on the street reconstruction project that we're just so close to finishing up now. We are actually making those bricks available to people in the public. That
Really?
would like a piece of the. There is some historical significance to those street bricks, so we're going to be making those bricks available to the public free of charge.
That's really cool. And how do people get a hold of that? Or when it may not be available now, but
Right.
when it comes time.
So yes, we will be putting a post on the city Facebook page, city website, and we'll run it in all of the local newspapers as well.
Very nice.
For the time, the date, and the place where they can stop by and pick some bricks up.
Very cool. Very cool. I never thought that was going to be the answer. That's awesome. Okay. Also, big thing that's going on. Everyone, warning ahead of time. Tree inspections are going to happen soon. What goes into that? What should people be looking out for?
Yeah, so we will be having public works staff and support service staff driving around town looking for dead or dying trees. So those trees, per the city code, are deemed a nuisance. High Nebraska winds, storms that may occur. Those trees that are dead or dying have a higher probability of falling over and
Causing
some
damage. Yeah.
for sure.
Tree, power lines or to your house, vehicles. It just makes sense.
Yep. So we'll have staff that goes around town, and in the past they've marked them, and what they will do this time, they will actually mark those with a colored dot.
Okay.
And then we write down the address where it's located, and then we send out a certified letter notifying of a tree or trees on or near the property. And then basically what the homeowner's initial responsibility is, call in, let us know what the plan is to take care of that tree. One thing that we're going to be hitting on this year too, with the amount of rain that we've gotten as of late, we've seen a lot of low-hanging branches on trees. I mean, a lot of leaves on them. And so really what we're wanting to accomplish with that is those trees over the streets and the sidewalks, they can be deemed a hazard, vehicles driving by, sight line of vision. So we're also going to identify those tree branches that are less than 8 feet above sidewalks and less than 13 feet from a public street or alley.
Gotcha. And it's up to the homeowner then to come up with a plan to take care of it, either themselves or with a tree service or that sort of thing.
Yep.
And kind of in what amount of time do homeowners need to respond if they get one of these official notices?
Yeah, so the amount of time to respond will actually be within the certified letter. Usually we give it about 2 weeks
Gotcha.
to at least get us back with a plan so that we know something's going to be accomplished there.
Yeah. And if someone doesn't get back to you, what does that look like?
We would send them another letter to ensure. We do the certified mail to make sure that they actually receive the letter. So we'll send a follow-up letter just as a convenience.
Yeah. Gotcha. When it comes to trees and all that sort of stuff, it's really easy for those things to get out of hand. And so, it's just one thing to remember that, it's okay. You're not in trouble. There's so many people that they see, I got a notice. Don't panic. Everything's fine. Just take care of your trees and everything will be all right.
And especially coming up here on school time, school starting up again, the visibility is important, with the school bus drivers and watching out for kids as well.
Absolutely. And so you said the standards were 13 feet over streets and 8 feet over sidewalks.
Correct.
So go ahead and just go do that. You don't even need someone to come say. Just go take care of it, knock it out. And then street painting is going on.
Yep.
So where is street painting happening, and how hard is that? Is street painting hard?
It can be difficult. So we actually had a contractor come in to do what we call mainline painting, so the center striping.
Yeah. If I had to do that, there's no way it'd be straight. It would be left, right. So someone would be like, "Was this guy drunk making these?" I was like, "No, I just am not steady."
Right. You don't have that steady hand. So we actually brought a contractor in to do some more of the mainline painting on our major arterials in town. They were able to come in and knock that out within a couple days. So what the street department crew does, they've been doing it during the daytime, some of it this year, making sure the school crosswalks are repainted, highly visible, important before the start of school to get that done. And then usually in the busier parts of downtown, they'll come in really early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah.
And they'll try to knock some of that out because we want to make sure that the no parking zones are marked on the curbs. And not only is it the street paint, but we also put it's called a glass bead to increase the visibility of the paint as well.
It's the thing that makes the glare. Because I've always wondered how you guys get that paint to stick out like it does.
Yep, it's glass beads.
Very cool.
So, yep, we sprinkle that on there. We actually have a street painting machine. So we have, it almost looks like a very small lawnmower. And, you got to look off to the side to make sure you're trying to keep straight lines. So
so it's not Kramer out of a car rolling down. A little more high-tech than that.
Yeah, a little more high-tech, yeah, for sure.
Nice. I that's one thing that I really notice, traveling to different towns. You notice when a town has their streets painted, like newly painted or clearly well taken care of. It's something that a lot of people maybe don't notice, but putting a new coat of paint on the city of York does make it feel like well taken care of. And it just kind of, I don't know, puts my mind at ease. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, I know, like I drove by, it would have been probably 3 weeks ago when our crew was doing some crosswalks there, right about 6th and Nebraska, right next to the auditorium. And yeah, it was right there around that noontime, and it was busy. So yeah. So please, when the crews are out, also watch out for them if you could.
Yes,
because we're out there, we're trying to get some work done, and I know that when we're out in the streets working amongst traffic, I always try to tell my guys, keep your head on a swivel, and try to do the job once.
Absolutely.
So we don't have to try to go back and do it again because we understand it is a bit of an inconvenience, but it's something that needs to be done.
Absolutely, 100%. And you also don't want to be the guy that runs over wet paint. You don't want you don't want to be the guy, because it's pretty easy to see who did that. You just look at the tires. It's right there.
Yeah, fortunately, the street paint that we use, it dries very quickly.
Does it really?
So, yeah, if it happens to be put on a little bit thick, it does take a little bit longer. The humidity plays a important factor in that as well. So.
Sure, absolutely. Well, James, is there anything else that we need to chit-chat about that people need to know about here in the city of York?
Yeah, I guess I just want a quick update on the street reconstruction project that we bonded for a couple years ago. So we just have a few small things around sprinklers and seeding of right-of-ways to really button up with the contractor, and then that project will be completely finished.
Wow.
So
nice.
Yeah, all of last spring, summer, and then it squirted into this spring as well. So it'll be really nice to get that done. So
absolutely.
The streets ride well. That's one nice thing about being able to bring a large paving machine in. And Mother Nature was not very nice to us there for a few times, but we got through it and appreciate everybody's patience with that.
Absolutely. And York you're much more drivable with the nice new roads. And so it's all good news. It's all good things. Well, thank you so much, James, for coming in, letting people know what's going on, and can't wait for the next one.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.